Greetings from the mountains of Colombia. As you can see, we're here in the Andes, about an hour from Bogota. And my name is J Weiskopf. The name of the series is Ayahuasca Express. Although we're going to deal with a lot of other subjects, that is the core of this series. My land in Colombia, this was like 1977. You know, the epicenter of towards the world epicenter of drugs. And the first place we lived in was a sort of squat downtown in the middle of Bogota. Very primitive. It was one up, one down, no running water. And we were doing leather work. We used to work out on the street. And of course, it was very easy to score weed. One day, I was in a little supermarket, and the woman, like a middle-aged woman, typical, started kind of making signs to me, looking at me and, you know, kind of come here. Because my Spanish was very primitive. And it turns out that she's a dealer. So, having cleared that up, she came to our house, and then we had a big supply. It was practically given away. And I was smoking all the time, and be out on the street, you know, if I wasn't actually smoking in the street, obviously stoned. So all the kids, teenagers in the neighborhood used to come around. I mean, when you're recently arrived in Colombia, you're very naive about the motives of people. So, you know, there's all these instant friends. And one day, she comes along with a husband. Although I should have been more alert, first warning that I was playing with fire. This was getting a bit heavy. And sooner or later, the word would have spread because there was still police. It still was illegal. Gringos were an easy mark. They were, you know, I used to, once I was smoking a cigar in a plaza in downtown. A cigar, and a cop approached me because he thought it was dope. A lot of times I was stopped because I looked like a hippie, so it was getting heavy. Fortunately, we were only temporarily there. We were making our way to the countryside because we wanted to live back to the land. So I got it that scrape. Another very perilous experience was that, you know, sometimes like 11 o'clock at night, I used to get stoned out of my mind. I get restless. And like we were a few blocks from the main drag was the 7th. So about 12 at night, I used to go crazy, to get on the street. And apart from the muggers, it was a very politically repressive era. The President Turbay, who hated hippies. And he used to pick up hippies and, you know, even kill them sometimes. And then there were all the bums and the vagrants who just as soon stick a knife in me as, you know, have a friendly chat. And I used to go down there. The only place that was open then, Bogota was a very quiet town. Now it's got more nightlife. Was a kind of late night taxi driver's stall on the, you know, the little park there by the telecom office. And I used to hang out and talk with the taxi drivers and whoever came by. But talk isn't the word. I was out of my mind, you know, stoned and too euphoric. But fortunately, nothing ever happened to me. And then I continued to smoke. Obviously, it was in the countryside. At times we used to get it from the growers or friends. I was never a heavy smoker. With 2 puffs, I was away. And, you know, it wasn't every day. But the next day, I would have a hangover, a literal hangover. Yeah, don't talk to me. Everything irritated me. I didn't want, you know, I didn't want to know anything about anyone. And even then, I persisted. In Bogota, we used to have what the cultural Friday, that is, get together with the end of the week. Thank God it's Friday. With the friends. These were educated, cultured people, and we talk about politics, talk about, you know, literature, all this stuff on the basis of the stone. And that was nice, but the same thing, terrible hangover, and that was just once a week. And also you begin to see, if you know dopers over the years, you begin to see trends, tendencies, not all of them. Some of them get wasted, some of them get stuck. These old dopers my age, you know, who are all, you know, kind of like Lebowski, they're all kind of smooth and mellow, but they haven't done much with their lives. But to come to the point, I started drinking ayahuasca.